Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Finally, the Western media starts cracking a little bit the news about Soledar, where the Russians took control, and obviously they downplay it as a success, but possibly this is what they report and so on. Anyway, the Russians are on their way to Bakhmut now, the next target. And you find out the reality by these guys telling you certain kind of pieces from other articles unrelated to Soledar or Bakhmut, but they give you other information that you can, put one next to another and you realize, oh, okay, that's what's going on. So in this case, we have this article, we have this article from Ukrinform from the 13th of January 2023. And the Ukrainians are telling us that the Russians were very, very eager beavers last night and during the day by shelling continuously certain kind of areas in Donetsk, the whole line of Donetsk, war line. So that means the Russians are not waiting for, summer. They are doing it right now. And it seems like the Ukrainians were either unprepared or the Russians finally got a different strategy or more troops. So as I said, this comes from Ukrinform. This is the title. Invaders shelling entire front line in Donetsk region since last night. Casualties reported. Obviously casualties will be only civilians, but what you get out of this is that they are shelling the entire line, front line in Donetsk. So they want to do something. You want to prepare an advancement, infantry advancement. That's how you do. You blow their defensive mechanism, you go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and then your infantry comes and cleans up whatever is left over. And then you stop again, you bring your things closer, and again, boom, 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 further, you mop everything over there, clean everything over there, then the infantry, tanks and people, pop-up troops go forward. And then again, you bring your stuff here, and that's how you advance, little by little. It's not like in the Second World War, oh, hoorah, let's go, oh, no, not that way. Anyway, not that it was like that all the time. In Donetsk region, the enemy has not stopped shelling the entire front line since last night. One person was killed and another one was injured as a result of the attacks. Do you believe that? I don't. There says one person was killed, another one was injured, and the beginning is what? The enemy has not stopped shelling the entire front line since last night. So that means they were like, boom, 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 and we find out one person and the other one, you know what I mean? Do you believe that? Right. I mean, it's a kind of like, what about the rest? Oh, you don't want to tell us? Okay. Pavlo Krylenko, governor of the Donetsk Regional Military Administration, wrote this on Telegram. Now, and I'm quoting, in the Donetsk direction, shelling of the Kurakove community continues. 3 houses were damaged in Kurakove and an enterprise in Kurkivka. There were isolated attacks on Avdiivka at night and Grad MLRS and artillery attacks in the morning. The day before, 1 civilian was killed in the city. A house in Tonenke of the Ochertinie community and Maxmilanivka and Marinka community were also damaged, end quote. The regional governor wrote. According to him, intense shelling of Soledar and Paraskovivka continues in the Horivka direction. In the Bakhmut community, yes, how about that? 1 person was injured in Klitschivka and a house was damaged in Kromove. In Konstantinivka, the energy hit a building of the former institute. No casualties were reported. And I'm quoting, in the Lysychansk direction, more than 30 hits were recorded in Torske and Zarichnie of the Liman community. It was loud in Siversk and Serebryanka. No one was injured, end quote. Kirilenko wrote. These guys are just shooting, I don't know, in the fields or something. As reported, Donetsk region is under constant shelling by Russian troops and has problems with electricity, heat and water supply. Now, first, it's not that I pick and choose what these guys are saying, but they have no problems making it big. Oh, the Russians attack, the Russians continue shelling. Okay, the Russians continue shelling. Why would you say that? So you can ask your masters more weapons, more money, more weapons, more money. On the other hand, you have to say, well, the Russians are running out of ammunition. But how is that going to stand next to this statement? Because these guys day and night shell you. I guess that's going to take the the passenger seat on this one, and we're right now interested in showing that these guys are relentlessly shell us. Therefore, give us the tanks and everything that we need. Okay, I think this is the point right now. Now, I believe that the Russians are doing what they're doing. I don't know the intensity. Now, what I don't believe is what these guys report, that a house somewhere, whatever building, a civilian, went to see Jesus, and the other one is hurt. I don't know, his pinky was injured when he was running, or she was running, whatever. Do you believe that? I mean, it's hard fight over there, heavy fighting, but you got these 2 casualties and 3 houses, one over there and one, I can't remember where I was. Anyway, these guys need to at least pick up their lying. I mean, we might be, most of us might be under 86 IQ, but come on now. I mean, even those will be like, oh, I think I have a question. I would expect, But anyway, guys, the next move is Donetsk, and not only, but this is where they wanted to focus right now. I saw an article from Agence France Presse saying that the Russians claim that's how they say. It seems like the Russians took over Soledar. The Russian Minister of Defense claimed it controlled Soledar. That's how they say. No, they don't say it in 100% terms. They quote the Russians and they say, we have doubts about that. I can tell you they took over, all right? Let's put it aside. Even the Americans said, what was his name, Sullivan or another weasel, said the same thing. Yeah, it seems like the Russians are advancing, but their advancements are very much, with a lot of casualties. Well, you want to make me think that the casualties are only on one side? Again, we have to. I mean, this is not hard thing. It's not hard to figure these things out, or you figure out that these guys are just, involved in a tactical disinformation campaign, which they do on both sides. That's how it works. You give the wrong information, and you try to keep your guys pumped up, and you try to make sure that the enemies have a low morale, so you can disband them. That's basically what works both ways. So it's not that I'm rough with the Ukrainians or the Americans, all these guys. They do what the Russians do as well. I mean, after all, you have to be a few classes better than the opponents to be real and say, yeah, man, we lost here, but we're winning there. It's like I told you before. When you fight, if you're that good, you can fight. Fight. You fight. If you're that good, you're gonna say, you know what? You see this elbow? That's gonna come right in your nose. And the guy was like, and you do what you do and bang in the nose. So that means you're so good that you can do whatever you want with that guy. That guy should stop fighting. So if you're at that point, you can be honest about it. But I don't think Russia is that far. Like, oh, we're so good that we can tell you we're gonna hit you there. Even though the Russians were consistent in their claims and plans. They told them exactly, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. Okay, we're going to retreat here, we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this. So far, I think the Russians were consistent in their reporting. In that, and they didn't tell you, they didn't tell you how many Russians died or what's going on over there and what's going on over there and there, for obvious reasons. But nevertheless, the Russians advance, and they, as I said, they prepare the territory so they can advance with their units. That's how it worked the whole time. And sometimes the Ukrainians obviously, had all kind of defense groupings. If you look at online, you can find some information on what kind of defense mechanism these guys had. It's unbelievable what the Ukrainians were prepared. The Ukrainians were prepared. very well prepared for the Russians doing what they do right here. There are satellite pictures and with explanation and all that. Look over that and you're going to understand the maps if you didn't do it so far. But I just suggest that. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.